obviously the president is responsible for any decision that gets made inside his administration, but there will be folks in the intelligence community who are making decisions about intelligence gathering.
There are the issues of the FBI, how it works and has worked traditionally with the CIA, not all that well, as we know. So there are all sorts of bureaucratic and cultural impacts here, and among them is the fact that the FBI is not experienced in terrorist interrogation.
Okay, if Osama bin Laden was captured tomorrow, he would no longer be questioned by the CIA. He would be questioned by a multi-agency unit that has been set up by the White House. It's called the High Value Interrogation Detainee Group, or HIG. Now, the new unit will have its own director. It's going to be housed in the FBI. Here's the question. There was a little confusion who has ultimate authority over it. Initially, the White House said that the FBI director would. Today, the Justice Department said that it's a group, not a subunit of the FBI or the Justice Department. We're back with our panel. Steve, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, that makes you feel good, right? This new high-value interrogation group, and they don't know who's running it or what it's going to do. I mean, I think really this is a big moment. I mean, the Inspector General report that came out got a lot of attention, and it should have gotten a lot of attention. But really, perhaps the bigger announcement as it relates to America's national security is this new method of interrogating detainees. I think really we have now gone back to 9/10. This is now pre-9/11 mindset. You have the White House, President Obama campaigned as a law enforcement first candidate, but I don't think that even those who supported him thought that he was going to go this far. Giving the FBI the lead on these things, on these interrogations, might in fact mean, if they're going to try to prosecute terrorists in U.S. courts, might in fact bring us back to this question of, do we read Miranda rights to terrorists? And I've talked to a couple legal scholars today who think that that's all but inevitable. The practical effect of this will be Mirandizing terrorists, giving them rights in effect that Americans have.
Kirsten, is this a slap at the CIA, this new unit?
I think it's probably an attempt for them to try to consolidate interrogation and make sure that it's done correctly. And there's a fundamental disagreement between conservatives and liberals, and me and both people sitting next to me, about what type of interrogations work the best. And you know, I don't think there's any reason that they can't can't have a new interrogation unit where they can interrogate people without breaking the law. I don't necessarily buy into the idea that the CIA is this persecuted agency. You know, they didn't really do a great job in terms of predicting 9/11 or a lot of other things like the fall of the Soviet Union, Iranian Revolution. You know, I don't think I think there are a lot of problems with the CIA, and I think that it needs to be overhauled.
But you're not suggesting that all the interrogations that they did were illegal?
No. But I think there were obviously a lot of problems associated with the CIA, and perhaps you can lay that blame at the feet of the White House or at the feet of the Justice Department if you want. But I do think that they were sort of scrambling after 9/11. They knew that they had dropped the ball and that they were going a little further than they should have been going and trying to get people to confess to things. And in doing so, they got people confessing to things that they didn't do, and some people broke the law.
But this new HIG unit, with no lines of authority, ostensibly FBI, all kinds of people in that committee with no one who decides, the White House apparently abjuring ultimate authority on this, is a disaster in the making. If we capture Osama tomorrow, we will learn how he likes his lamb prepared. And that's it. We will learn nothing else from him. And we are going to read him his rights. A White House official reported by the Washington Post earlier in the week said that we would not necessarily read all of the high-value terrorist Miranda rights. Is it even a question? The idiocy of imagining that if you capture Ayman al-Zawahiri, one of the cruelest terrorists in world history, you would actually think of saying to him, you do not, you know, that he doesn't have to actually tell you anything, is insane. Of course he doesn't have a right to remain silent. This man barely has a right to live. You capture him, you make him talk. Now, it doesn't mean by all means, but if you stick him in a situation in which he's Mirandized, you are guaranteed you will learn nothing. This isn't a game, and we're actually involved in 2 wars. It's incredibly irresponsible.
So why would the White House roll out a program and be this vague about who has the ultimate authority?
Because it hasn't been thought through, because it's a political reaction to their being upset about how the CIA had acted in the past, and because it wants to appease its left. It's not thinking clearly. It's being incredibly irresponsible.
That's it for the panel, but stay tuned for the answer of the week that you probably missed.